everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway, your premier showbiz education podcast. You know who it is. It's me. It's Mr. Brennan Stefanik, your host, and I'm bringing you those general programming reminders. Folks, every Monday we are here with our main series, and every Friday we are here with our mini-series In the Spotlight, but that's enough about that. That is not why we're here today. Folks, today I am joined by the one and only Julia Knitel. Julia, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I am so great on this nice, hot, sticky
Balmy.
New York summer's day. Yeah. I'm like from the Northeast, but even still the humidity around here is just really unbearable.
It's rough. And it makes me feel old, but I do say, like, summer didn't used to be like this.
It didn't. It simply did not.
It didn't. Like, when we were kids, I remember September having, like, sweaters to wear for the first week of school.
100%.
And it's now, like, that we are in this heat until October.
It is.
It's wild.
It's crazy. And it starts even earlier and it ends even later. And, you know, this global warming thing. It's real. It's very real.
We're here to tell you about global warming today.
Yes, this is, you didn't know, but it's a global warming podcast.
Surprise.
Julia, who the heck are you and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Julia. Been in this business professionally as a Broadway actor for 16 years.
Awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. And this year I got to originate my first role on Broadway and got a Tony nomination for it. So it's been sort of a whirlwind.
Yeah, you did.
Whirlwind 2025.
No kidding. Geez. The second question is usually, how do we know each other? But we don't.
We don't.
We don't
Not
at
yet.
all. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, if you consent to it, I am offering you the Get to Know You speed round.
Love it. Okay.
I'm going to ask you a series of 10 rapid fire questions. I need you to answer with your immediate gut response.
Okay.
You know, this is getting to the essence of who you are as a person.
I'm scared.
Are you okay? Are you ready to go for it?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, great. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the wall. It's on the clock right there.
Done.
That obviously right there that you can see.
I can.
And here we go. Okay, Oreos, regular or double stuffed?
Gluten-free. Unfortunately, that's the answer.
Oh, no.
But they do have gluten-free Oreos.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect indoor temperature.
Ooh, 73 degrees.
What is your biggest red flag that you have?
Dishonesty and lack of communication.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. About someone else or about me?
About yourself.
Honestly, the opposite of that. I am over-communicative and I will be too honest.
You said I'm a liar.
I'm a fucking liar.
Best cut of French fry.
Ooh, sweet potato.
Okay, great. Crew neck or hoodie?
Crew neck.
Best flavor of potato chip?
Salt and vinegar.
Best state of matter?
Ooh, liquid?
Okay, great. What is your fave pop culture franchise?
That's a hard one. I don't have a TV right now, so
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
I'm sort of like, I'm disconnected from franchises in general.
It's
but
very
I guess
admirable.
thank you. It's not fully intentional. I'm going to say Twilight.
Great. Wild, but great.
I know.
Trend you want to bring back?
Ooh, jelly shoes.
Oh my God. Okay. And rocks, paper, or scissors?
Rock.
Okay, great. There we go. We just made it in the nick of time.
In the nick.
Just hit 60 seconds.
In the nick.
And I feel like I know who you are now.
Chaotic answers only.
Very chaotic. Jelly shoes. Wow.
Yeah.
Forgot about those.
You know, we were talking about summers and how they used to be.
Yeah.
And they used to be jelly shoes. And I
That's
remember
so
like
true.
my sweaty little 7-year-old feet like squishing
Yep.
throughout the streets of New Jersey.
Wow. You're from New Jersey?
Yes.
Okay, great. Where?
Bergen County.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Did you have like an artistic upbringing? Like, was that an artistically rich area?
Very much so. And actually run by my parents. My parents
my
were,
God.
they were professional actors. And when they had me, I'm the eldest, and they were like, you know what? It's time to sort of stop doing this chaotic, like drive into the city with our baby and audition for a Broadway show thing.
Heard.
So they started teaching music in elementary schools and started a community theater
Whoa.
that I ended up sort of growing up in.
Heard.
And it was a really extraordinarily artistically rich childhood where every year, not only was I watching them, especially my younger years, watching them perform.
Yeah.
My earliest memories are of my parents on stage and me sitting in a dress rehearsal because I'm too little to see the show at a real time with an audience around me. And then, just growing up and doing a show every single year. Like the spring was the big show, and we were painting sets and sewing costumes and, setting up risers for the audience to sit on. It was a real like hammer and nail sort of community theater, which was very cool to be a part of.
Was that something that you wanted to participate in, or was that kind of just you're in this family, you're in it?
Desperately so. It's it's funny that sometimes I get asked, like, when did you know you wanted to be an actor? And I'm it's a boring answer, but the answer is like, I didn't ever think I wasn't going to be. Like, I knew if this was possible, if they would accept me into the club, if they would let me be a part of this, I would want nothing more. And sort of just like from the time I was very little, this was just the only path I wanted.
Heard. Was there any like hesitancy from your parents within that, knowing the industry? I find lately a strange dichotomy of the people who have parents that are not involved whatsoever are kind of like, sure, go for it, because they just don't know. And then the ones who do know are kind of like,
For sure. I mean, my parents definitely kept me out of the spotlight in like any professional way as long as they possibly could. Okay. I was not a kid actor. I did not have an agent. We were 20 minutes outside the city, and I never auditioned for anything. It was all just like really holistic community theater, high school theater, things like that like enriched my life. And I think they were keenly aware of the fact that the professional side of it is not that. It's you are a commodity, and you are making money for a theater or a production. And so like it is no longer just for the joy. And so my parents were really careful. And I ended up sort of coming across my first professional audition by accident.
Okay.
I saw that there was an open call for the Broadway revival of Bye Bye Birdie, and they were like specifically seeking real kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I brought it to my parents. I was 16 years old. I had just finished my sophomore year musical, which was Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Okay.
It was very fun. And I was sort of like, well, maybe like, could I go to this just for the experience?
Yeah.
Like it might be fun. And I'd heard them tell stories about cattle calls and things like that. And so I was expecting them to say no and very surprised when they said yes.
Heard.
But I think we all sort of thought, well, I'm not going to book this.
Yeah.
This is just going to be a fun experience. And, so, 4 a.m, driving in from New Jersey, wrapped 3 times around the block on 43rd Street. And, long story short.
Especially for a call with kids, that must have been, no.
It was intense.
It must have been a tough day for the monitor.
It really was. And they typed us out, which
my God.
Honestly, I do kind of, in hindsight, respect.
Yeah.
Because we were all waiting out there for so many hours that if there was no world where they could see everyone, so at least they were like, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We know the style, we know the look, we know what we want. And here we are.
Heard.
And I got typed in, and then I got to go home to New Jersey for 5 hours, take a nap, and then come back and sing my song.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, since your parents were kind of like in the industry prior to that, would you say that you were cognizant of like how it actually worked and like the difficulties that could be faced?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
I think especially because my parents had, really cool careers, and they were working a bunch, but they didn't accomplish the things that they wanted to in the industry. And so they were aware, like, okay, you know what? It doesn't always happen. Even for really talented people who try really hard and go out there every day and audition, you don't always get to make your Broadway debut. You don't always get to have this fulfilling career in the theater that also supports you financially. You don't. And so in many ways, like sort of the opposite of a Nepo baby, I had parents who had the experience. It didn't go their way. Yeah. And they were like, if you want to do this, you just have to realize how hard it is. And you have to realize that it takes sacrifice, it takes hard work, it takes humility, it takes grit, and it takes an immense amount of courage and confidence in yourself, because all you are going to get is no's.
Heard.
And I sort of had this rare moment where my first professional audition, I made my Broadway debut. I was the dance captain at 16. I know.
Wild.
Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy. Running understudy rehearsal. And I understudied one of the roles. And so I just had this really full experience for the first time. And it was so much fun. And I was like, Broadway's amazing and I'm going to work forever. And then I was, 16, the show closed. I think I turned 17 a week after we closed.
And you were in high school while all this was happening.
I had to drop out.
Oh my God.
I know. This is from BA to Broadway, and your girl has 0 degrees.
Incredible.
Perpetual dropout. Dropped out of high school and college.
Wow. Oh, so you did actively try to go to college?
I did, because when I was 17, 5'10", a baby face, but I didn't look like a little girl.
Yes.
It was really hard for me to get a job.
Heard.
And I spent 17, 18, and 19 in final callbacks for like everything, getting to the final 3, the final 2, and not getting it over and over and over and over again. And I was like, what's wrong? Why? I mean, I understand that, like, yes, they'd have to hire a child wrangler for me if I went on tour. Like, that's not going to happen. That's not great.
Yeah.
Or like one of the things I was in for was hair, and like the entire company gets naked and I'm underage. Like, that's not going to go my way. But it was, I was getting really close and they kind of like can't ask your age. And so I was like, maybe I will. And, anyway. So I just kept getting no's. And it was the first real lesson in rejection, the first of many, I will say, but the first real one. And I sat down, and I'm really proud of 18, 19-year-old Julia for like sort of having her first self-check of like, okay, you're not getting these jobs. What's going on? What's going on inside of you? What's going on inside your head? What's going on in the outside world? What do you need right now? What are you lacking? And what I found was that I felt really confident. I grew up as a dancer. I felt really confident dancing. I felt really confident singing, but I did not feel confident anytime I was handed scene work.
Okay.
And I was just going on like instinct and just sort of like had never taken an acting class.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, I'm going to start doing acting classes.
Okay.
And I did that in New Jersey for a little while. I wasn't getting the depth of training that I desired. And so I started looking into BFA acting programs that would take me with a GED.
Gotcha. Heard. Okay.
Which are limited, I will
was gonna
say.
say, that must be a finite list.
Very finite. I found that, especially because I didn't want to leave the city, like I was having traction. I was still auditioning. I was booking like tiny little readings and things.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to remove myself from the industry completely, which is a decision I'm grateful for ultimately. And so I found that I needed to stay in the city.
Gotcha.
And Marymount Manhattan had a BFA acting program.
There we go. Yeah.
And I found that it was the kind of training I wanted, that they would accept me with the GED. And, I started at school that following semester.
Yeah. So at that time, at that age, were you able to rationalize the fact that like a lot of these things were happening just circumstantially? Like, were you kind of cognizant of the fact that it was just an age thing and it probably wasn't your fault in any way?
Yes. And I'm so grateful that I did actually try to assess my skills in like a really honest way. Because yes, it was mostly the age. Yes, it was mostly an experience thing. And I was the 17-year-old who was getting beat out by the 23-year-old. And then at 23, I saw the 17-year-olds and I was like, oh, they're babies.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel like a baby when you're 17.
No.
Not to our 17 and 18-year-old listeners, you are a baby, just enjoy it. Like, love
for
yourself and appreciate your youth.
100%.
But like, it's something that I got to see on the opposite side of, that it is an age thing. It very much is. It's an experience thing. It's a confidence thing. It's a maturity level thing that you just feel like at 23, you are more of an adult.
Yeah.
And you can still play children and you can still sort of do that energy, but it's just a different thing. And at the same time, the training that I got for 2 years at Marymount in their BFA program was, I do believe, the catalyst for what the rest of my career became.
Totally. So, but then you left.
I left.
Okay.
So I had this amazing time at school. I got to do a bunch of straight plays, which was like a big jump for me from being like, I think my least fully fleshed out skill is acting, to like, I am starring in a Kaufman and Ferber play, a 3-act Kaufman and Ferber play. And so I was like, this is okay. I think actually this might be my strongest skill.
Yeah.
I just needed the confidence and the tools.
Totally.
And so when I was at school, I was auditioning, got close to a couple things, ended up booking Nora in Brighton Beach Memoirs regionally.
Okay.
Which was a dream role of mine.
Nice.
I read the play in high school, and I was like, this is my favorite play. And so I knew it was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. And I went to my, what are those called? Advisors? Like you're teaching
like
teacher.
Like a student advisor.
Yeah, student advisor. And I sat him down and I was like, hey, I really want to do this play.
I sat him down.
I did. She's like, I called this meeting to tell you that I'm doing this play.
Yeah.
But I want you to maybe let me come back. Like I would only miss, I think, a month and a half of school.
Oh, okay.
And I want to come back to the BFA program. And they basically were like, you can't come back to the BFA program. If you came back, you could do the BA in theater arts. and which is like not as much acting training. And I sort of was like, okay, then I think I'm just going to put this on hold and like see what happens.
Yeah.
And while I was doing this play up in Maine, I got an audition for Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
Okay.
And I remember like scrolling down, 21 at this point, scrolling down to the bottom of the email, and it says like, oh, this appointment's for Betty, who is like, you know, Carol's best friend, age 18 to 22. I'm like, oh, I'm perfect for this. And then it says role must cover Carole King. And I closed the email and I said, well, there's no world where I'm booking this. I'm 21 years old. I am a child. I can't play Carole King. And several auditions and work sessions later, they decided not only should I be able to cover Carole King, they were considering me to originate the role on the tour.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I had always been like an ensemble actor and I felt so comfortable there, even in my parents' theater company. They were not the kind of parents who like gave me roles. I was like the strawberry seller in Oliver. I was like, you know, like one of Fagin's boys. I was really like in the ensemble and I loved that. And we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, but that's one of the things I loved so much about Dead Outlaw was that I got to be in the ensemble and also have these step outs and features. Yeah. But this was the first time where the industry had seen me as a leading lady.
Totally.
And I had to reckon with that and sort of be like, do I have that in me? And long story short, they thought I did. And then I had to figure out how to get myself there.
Yeah. That's still so mind-boggling that there's so many universities that feel so protective of, I say protective, I want to say greedy of their students and their work, because there are so many different programs out there who would definitely not allow a student to go off to a gig and come back. And there's some out there that dissuade students from auditioning for summer stock and trying to work during the summers. And it's like, why are we doing this then?
I think it's a really toxic mindset, I do have to say. And I try not to, I use that word lightly,
of
but
course.
The reality is that this is an artisan skill. Like you are only going to get better at performing on a stage. By performing on a stage in front of an audience. You are only going to get better at acting on camera when you are on a set, surrounded by a crew, and acting on a camera. Like you cannot learn these skills in a classroom. And you can learn tools
100%.
In the classroom that end up benefiting you. And I have. But at the end of the day, it's hours spent on a stage.
It is.
You need them. And so for anyone to say to someone who is training to do this professionally, that you cannot go and do this professionally is so wild to me.
And quite frankly, it's going to make them look better. So it's like they want to own those 4 years of your life and have all of the credit for whatever success can come after. But it's befuddling. It is the whole system of it all and the existing in their ecology of it all that really, I don't know. It's also one of those things too where you do exist in the little microcosm of their kind of community where it's like, okay, well, we're kind of putting this person on this track to play these roles, and then maybe they book something outside of that. And then all of a sudden, everything that we've been trying to show them that they are is not true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Did you feel as though like you kind of fell into any form of typecasting in college or?
But to be honest, it was a strange thing. I had this, I won't name any names. It was a difficult thing.
Yeah.
I came in and I was already a professional actor. I'd made my Broadway debut. I have always kind of kept that to myself. Like I remember going in and not like walking around being like, well, I'm already. I sort of was like, I'm a student and I'm here and I'm trying this and I'm learning. And eventually people found out and had Googled and figured it out. But like I was always trying to just sort of like start as a clean slate. And I was given a lot of opportunities in my first 2 years to perform. And I was like, they don't put freshmen in the main stages, but like I did like every student production. And I was cast as the lead in the fall play, which was a massive, massive thing as a sophomore. Yeah. And I remember being like, oh, maybe I am good at acting. Maybe I can do this. And by the end of that year, I had done the main stage in the fall and understudied Ariel in Footloose in the spring.
Hell yeah.
And I got to the end of that year, and that advisor that I ended up going to with this news of booking this play had sat me down and said to me, hey, so next year, we're not going to cast you in anything. We really want to break you down and start you fresh and really focus on your training. And then he said some other things that were not as kind. I don't think he works at the school anymore. But it was one of those things where it was sort of like, we're going to break you down and start you fresh. And I was like, wait a minute. I came in here with very little confidence.
Yeah.
And I have just gained that confidence over the last 2 years. And now you're telling me that my confidence that I've gained is actually I'm not worthy of that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have that confidence. And so I think it was like 2 weeks later that I booked Brighton Beach Memoirs. And so it was one of the deciding factors. I don't always tell this story because it's not it's not a good look on them. But
though.
It is, yeah.
I mean, and unfortunately, there are so many, I'm going to use this in parentheses, educators out there who feel comfortable just saying that without any form of retrospect whatsoever, which is
correct.
Appalling and scary. And also, who do you think you are?
Actually, though, who do you think you are?
The sheer gall, the authority, question mark. It's like, I hate to say it too, and a lot of these people are the people who have not been working in this industry in years and stuff, and it is still...
Or never did.
Yeah. You know, they did Shakespeare 40 years ago, right out of, like, when they were 21, and that was kind of their wherewithal of what this industry is, and they kind of just ride that until the end, really.
Yeah. And I think what I want any educators listening to hear is, like, my big journey, especially as like really boiled down to in the last 5 months, having to like step out into the world in the way that I have had to for Dead Outlaw, confidence and lack thereof has been the through line of my career so far. Like, I think that there are people who believe in themselves so fiercely and like walk into every room like they are hot shit. And I admire those people so much.
Oh, 100%.
As long as they're nice. Like, don't be like, I'm hot shit and all of you suck. Like,
for sure.
You have to be nice too. But there are so many people who have this like deep-seated, I can do anything confidence. And that has never been me.
Yep.
And my entire life, it's been this journey and battle of like, I am good enough. I am worthy. These opportunities that keep coming to me, it's not that it's just a mistake over and over and over again, Julia. It's like, you are worthy of these things. And it's so interesting because one of the things that this person who wanted to break me down and start me fresh, I'm using parentheses, quotations rather, and one of the things that they thought was that I had too much confidence, that I had too much, like, I am hot shit. And I was like, oh no, sir, I am in here hating myself.
Totally.
And I'm going to now have this as a new seed of
course,
like to blossom within me, the fact that I am not worthy.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how when those people come into your life and try to throw you off your path, you really, it's a moment where you are tested.
Yeah. And it's those pivotal years, especially when like you're existing from elementary school to high school to whatever, following authority figure to authority figure, where all of a sudden, like, these people are kind of what's on a pedestal for you because those are supposed to be, they are qualified, quote unquote, to be teaching you these things. So like they must know. But then later on, you learn that this industry is so subjective and that includes your professors and that also includes yourself. You know, it's just opinions and the opinions that you have of yourself and others have of you are not always the truth or whatever, or it's not going to be what people like or dislike about you, you know?
Yeah, very true.
Tricky. Yeah,
Tricky indeed.
When would you say you kind of fell into kind of knowing yourself and knowing your skill? Or have you felt like that has ever kind of clicked in for you?
That's a great question. Last spring, we were doing Dead Outlaw off Broadway, and it was the first opportunity I've had to work with a team of that magnitude and to originate a role from the ground up and know that it had the very likely possibility of going to Broadway.
Yeah.
And I was a wreck. I was so consumed by anxiety and fear and self-doubt and imposter syndrome, and I was like, not well, like truly not well.
Yeah.
And somehow got through that time and realized, like, over that summer, we knew there was a possibility of it going to Broadway, and that possibility got stronger with every passing day. We found out like new information. Oh, we've got these producers, And so I realized, like, oh, Julia, you are really going to have to get your mind right because you cannot sustain that level of stress and fear and be completely fully in your artistry.
Hard.
And so I, by hook or by crook, as they say.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you ever heard that?
No.
Did I make it up?
You might have, but I like it.
Sometimes I have a hard time with the sayings. I think it's like by hook or by crook. Like, I'm going to like, I'm going to be a pirate and figure this out. I don't know. By hook or by crook. Like, I'm going to steal it.
Of course.
I'm going to steal it from myself.
As the pirates do.
As the pirates do. You know, basically, Julia Knitel, she's a pirate.
Of course.
So I knew that, like, no one could fix me but me.
Okay.
And so I had an opportunity to do beautiful in Sarasota for 3 months with one of our original associate directors. And I knew it was going to be like a really incredible production.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm doing this big role that I know really well and I love a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How can I use this 3 months of time to like get my mind right and prepare myself for what's coming in the spring?
Heard.
And so I did. I just started like meditating and doing a lot of breath work and like a lot of soul searching and journaling and just sort of like felt myself. I've now lovingly called that period in my time my metamorphosis.
Okay.
Because I had like a very probably highest anxiety, lowest self-love I had ever had in my professional adult life right going into this production. And by the time I left, I felt completely ready for what the universe was going to give me with Dead Outlaw. And I felt like, especially in the beginning, like the sheer contrast of the like daily fear I felt walking into the room off Broadway and the groundedness and peace and worthiness I felt walking into the rehearsal room on Broadway was night and day.
That's awesome.
It was so awesome. And I really felt like I was able to blossom as a performer because I was rooted into the ground.
Heard.
Yeah.
That rocks.
Did that answer your question?
100%.
Very roundabout way.
And that being said, I'm going to pose you with a very could be difficult question, which is, having had that metamorphosis, what is something that you feel like you love to do and you feel like you're really good at?
I love on stage or in life.
I mean, I was talking about on stage,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
if you got something in life, go for it.
I'll answer on stage. I'm really good at being truthful.
Heard.
I'm really good at living in a moment every night and letting that moment breathe and surprising myself.
Yeah.
And following whatever path the show leads me on each night.
Good. Good. I mean, it's important. I think it's important that we try and recognize these things within ourselves because we are in this age of authenticity and everyone brings something different to the table. But if you can have confidence in that thing that you do, quote unquote, better than anyone else and just kind of ride that wave, then that is going to get you so far in this world. And I think all of the young performers, I mean, it's tough when you're young trying to quote unquote, I keep on saying quote unquote. I hate that I keep saying that.
No, I love it. It's the theme of the episode.
Literally, quote unquote. Title of that. It's tough to know who you are when you're young and kind of what sets you apart from someone else. And especially when you're in that educational space, you can only take what is thrust upon you with a grain of salt because that is so easy to change. But once you're out and about in this world, in this city, in this job, and you kind of start to see what folks are resonating most with you, if you are able to enjoy that and come to terms with that in yourself, then that's your golden ticket, you know? So
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think what they don't teach you in school, or maybe they're trying to now. I hope that they're trying to now.
I hope so.
But like what they really, the most valuable piece of advice that I can give to a young person who is trying to make a career in this business is that there is only one of you.
Yeah.
And if you try to sound like or tell jokes like or have the physicality of or follow the career of anyone else, you are missing out on what makes you so special.
Yeah.
And if I had a nickel for every time I tried to sound like Sutton Foster or Kelly O'Hara and like what they aren't me and they're amazing.
Yeah.
And they're so singular. And that is why they've succeeded.
Of
like
course.
No one else is like Sutton Foster.
No.
No one else is like Kelly O'Hara. No one else is like you.
Yeah.
And if you try to be something that you're not, it's only going to delay your success and your reward.
Of course.
Like you just have to find out what your voice sounds like. Find out what your sense of humor is.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone into like, you know, a workshop of a new show and the thing that makes them ask me back is that I found like a specific kind of humor in it that no one had found before.
Heard.
And I'm like, oh, well, that's not just like something I'm trying to manifest. It's my brand of humor.
Yeah.
And it's how I'm going to tell a joke.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like only the way that I can. And that is so valuable.
Totally. Listen, it's rough out there. So whenever, it's rough out there.
It's very rough.
It is rough. But like, being able to find the comfort and joy in yourself that is going to get you through it. And we all got to focus on that, especially now in this world that's so fucking crazy.
So scary.
We got to find the joy in ourselves, because where the hell else are we going to find it, you know?
Yeah.
So anywho, I digress. So post Birdie, pre Carol, were you auditioning like at EPAs and stuff? Were you trying, how did you kind of get the education of how to do that?
That is something my parents had done a lot of. So I did know like the bare bones of what to expect. And I mean, like.
Were you in the union from Birdie? Okay. So even as in.
I joined, day one, which was I realized how fortunate I was, because I never had to do like a non-ec list or, you know, like I was very lucky in that way. But I went to every audition that I was even remotely right for. And I didn't get called back for 90% of them. But, you know, that 10% where they were like, come back and do these sides. It's, you know, it's great. And I will tell you, like, the casting people in those rooms are actually casting like 90% of the time. They are looking. And, you know, getting yourself in front of those people is never a bad thing. And it's never a bad thing to just practice auditioning.
Heard. Did you feel like you kind of had the moment during Birdie or afterwards where you kind of felt like, hey, I am a part of this community and I deserve to be here and belong here?
I did during Birdie.
Okay.
But then I think that shine started to wear off pretty quickly when I went like, oh, it's been a year and I haven't had a job. And it's been 2 years and I haven't had a job. And that was like, I still kept going, you know, I still kept auditioning. And I knew, I think deep down that I was lucky and that I am someone who's meant to be in this business and this is my calling. But it's hard.
It is.
It's hard when it's just a lot of no's.
Totally.
And, you know, there is always the fear that I made my Broadway debut and I'm going to be like a one-hit wonder. Like I'm going to have just done this one show, never work again. And even, you know, after Beautiful, I thought the same thing. I thought, I did Beautiful on Broadway. Okay, well, they're having me play Carol on the tour. Okay, well, I'm probably not going to play a lead ever again. Like, let's just wait for me to fuck this up in some way. And it's like sort of after every job you have, I think this is pretty universal. We always think we're never going to work again.
Of course.
And it's like the hope, the trust in the universe that you have to sort of like force yourself to feel.
100%. Have you felt like you kind of found your ways to dig yourself out of that by this point? Or
yes.
Okay.
I am really good at being unemployed.
Amazing. Amazing.
I love it. Like I recognize that I know now it's temporary already. Like, you know, it's been 2 weeks since we closed at Outlaw and I've shot a TV show and have made like 15 self-tapes and like it feels like a full-time job. And I'm like, oh, wow, I wish I enjoyed that week a little more that I wasn't working. But, you know, like today I don't have anything to do. I had to make a self-tape early this morning. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to dinner with a friend. And then I've got this event tonight. Like I really try to fill my days with things that make me happy and things that I can't do when I am working. And I love to travel. So I really I'm going to Paris next week. Like I try to make the most. Yeah. I try to make the most of the in-between because it always is shorter than you think it's going to be.
Are you someone that feels like you always got to be doing something? Or do you do poorly with stagnancy?
No.
Okay.
I love like put me on a beach with a book and I'll be happy all week. Like
amazing.
It ends. Like that time ends. I won't be able to do it forever, but I'm really good at resting.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, listen, I'll have my day in the sun for sure. And until then, if I can just coast and relax.
Period.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then it makes you ready for when you are like.
Oh, totally.
I don't think I understood until this year just how much is required of you when you open a show, when you do a Tony's campaign, a Tony's season.
Yeah.
And like I it is so all consuming. It is so like literally 2 full-time jobs that I really feel like I've earned a little bit of respite. So I'm like, okay. Whew, I can breathe. I can see my friends. I can call my mom back. Like it's like, you know, these things that sort of just go by the wayside and you have to enjoy them while you're in the in-between.
Yeah, I mean, also the recharge is so real. And there are some people out there who just can't, who just can't do that. And it's so tough because when they finally realize how necessary it was, it's always too late.
It's
and
always
like,
too late.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, being a little lazy,
take a day.
it can be beautiful.
Lay in
it
bed.
can be beautiful, literally.
You need it.
Yeah, 100%. And like, quite frankly, sometimes it happens and I'm like, oh God, I'm disgusting.
Of course.
I feel terrible in this day and this moment. And then the next morning, the most productive morning I've ever had in my life, you know?
It wouldn't be that way if you hadn't rested.
Exactly right. Exactly
it's
right.
It's about balance.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Oh, love it. But what has been your favorite, more leisurely activity these days?
I have a garden.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's a big private garden, and I go out there in the morning, and my cat, like, is an outdoor cat who is an indoor cat.
Okay.
And so she, like, as soon as we wake up, she, like, runs to the back door and meows at me until I let her outside, like a dog. And so, like, I make myself a little flat white, and I bring it outside, and I sit in my garden on this little, like, swing, like, bench, and I have my coffee, and my cat just, like, lays in the sun. And I've found myself, like, losing entire hours back there.
Amazing.
I'll bring my journal, I'll bring my tarot cards, and I'll just, like,
a tarot girly.
I'm a tarot girly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It scares me, I gotta say.
Don't be scared. People are scared.
Ugh.
Why are people scared?
It's that, and like, the problem is I believe in it.
Because it's real. I'm making your fear worse.
Stop it. Like tarot and like psychics and stuff, I'm like, I just don't want to know. I don't want to know, you know?
I do desperately want to know.
I want to know if it's good, of course, but if it's not, then I don't want to know because I will dwell.
I hear that.
I've been to a medium one time. I went to a psychic medium one time, and it was very real and very accurate. And it was kind of in that moment where I was like, okay.
These things are real.
This is fine because it is not about me. It is about someone else, you know? But if the spotlight is on me and these things, I'm like,
yeah.
No, thank you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I think with tarot, you have a certain level of, like, you have a relationship with your deck.
Okay.
Where it's like, I know that they're not going to give me bad news on a bad day. But I will tell you, like, when I was really stressed during Tony's season, there were days where I was like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know if it's going to be a bad day. I can read the cards at the end of the day and you can tell me what happened, but I don't want to know. Whereas, like, most days it just kind of says, like, oh, yeah, there's going to be a bump in the road today. Or, like, maybe you'll feel heartbreak about something. And then, like, I get a phone call and it's, like, bad news. And I'm like, oh, wow, well, the card's new. But it's never, like, the end of the world.
Heard.
It's sort of just like they give you a little outline and you get to fill it in with color.
Oh, God. I admire that for you. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Keep those cards away from me.
I'm bringing them next time.
No! That'll be bonus content. Will be me sitting here
getting a reading,
quaking. So when Tony Noms came out, question for you.
Yes.
What was the balance of excitement versus stress that came with that?
It's very interesting. I was not expecting to be nominated.
Okay.
It's an ensemble show.
Yeah.
You know, I got an Outer Critics Circle nomination off Broadway, but like I sort of thought that was, I don't know. This is also my imposter syndrome being like, well, they were just being nice. But, which is like a crazy thing to say.
You know how they love to be nice.
You know how they always,
things.
These nominators, they just want to throw me a bone. Yeah, no. But it was a strange thing because I was so in my power and I was so in my artistry and I was really living and breathing and just like loving doing the show. And we had a crazy condensed schedule. We had 2 weeks of rehearsal, 10 days of tech, 14 previews, opened on the deadline. 5 days later, we had 7 nominations.
Yeah.
So that all happened like a fucking whirlwind.
No kidding.
And in the 5 days between opening and nominations, it started to become evident to me that there was a world where I might get nominated.
Heard.
I had heard that the reviews were really favorable, and I had heard that, like, you know, the producerial team, like, had, I guess, like, all shows are like, oh, well, we think these are the people who could be nominated. These are the things, the aspects of the show that could be nominated.
Totally.
And I was sitting in tech with David Yazbek before we even opened, and I'm just obviously the biggest fan of him. He is our generation's Sondheim. I think he's a genius, and working with him was like, it had me quaking in my boots for the entire off-Broadway run because I just wanted to do him right.
Yeah.
And by this time, like, we have a friendship, and I'm sitting next to him, and he says something like sort of casually, like, well, you could be nominated. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I went upstairs and like wrote about it in my journal and then like wanted to throw up.
Yeah.
Because that meant more to me than getting a nomination, was that David Yazbek thought I could be nominated in his show.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, I could die happy. But then sort of that was the first moment, and then the reviews, and then like people started reaching out to me being like, I think you're going to be nominated. And I sort of was like, stop saying that. And then it was like, oh, you're on this list. And like Jesse Green thinks you should be nominated. And and all of these things started happening to the point where the night before the nominations came out, I was a nervous wreck.
Okay.
Because I was like, I didn't think I was going to be nominated. And now other people think I'm going to be nominated. So I feel like if I don't get nominated, they'll be disappointed. And it wasn't even about me. And it became this whole weird anxiety spiral. And I was just like, you need to let this go. And that morning I woke up 6 a.m, cleaned my entire apartment. Like just so nervous. So nervous. And still like saying out loud, Julia, you're not going to be nominated. This is an ensemble show. You are an ensemble track in it. Like it's going to be, the show being nominated is your nomination. Just relax. And then, of course, they said my name, and I wept, like heave-sobbed, inconsolable, and then sort of immediately, sorry, I kicked you, immediately get inundated with like, you know, the publicists calling you and saying like, okay, you gotta get on with New York One live. Like I didn't even brush my teeth until 5 p.m. that day because I was just literally
crazy
doing like interview after interview after interview on the phone with people, calling back my friends and family. Like it was insane. And then the scary part is, you know, now every single night, Tony voters are in the audience.
Yeah.
So don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And then I started getting like really in my head and had a hard time with that part of things. And and then I started being hard on myself because I was like, okay, you're taking steps back. Remember when you loved yourself and now you have a Tony nomination and you hate yourself again? Like, what is that? So it was a complicated time, and it was a complicated relationship that I had with the process because all of my dreams were coming true. And just getting nominated, I know everybody says this, but like I really do mean it, was more than enough.
Yeah.
I could never work again. And I have this thing that I got, and yes, awards don't matter, but like
totally, it
is a cool thing. I checked off this thing that I've had on my list of dreams from the time I was a little girl, and it happened. And I still honestly haven't really processed that it happened. And sometimes I walk by, they give you like a framed nomination at one of the luncheons. And I sometimes walk by it and I'm like, that's real. That really happened. Oh my God. Wow.
It's got your name on it.
It's got my name on it.
Yeah.
And it's got the name of this show that I passionately love and believe in on it. And that makes it even all the more special to get nominated for something that means so much to me. But yeah, it was a very intense time because it does become about like, it doesn't become about winning. And that's not like coming from anyone at the theater, but there is this like, okay, well, you have to now give the performance of your life every night because you don't want to leave anything in the dressing room. You want to leave it all on the stage. And that really got me in my head. And I wasn't doing my best work and I wasn't feeling as connected to my artistry. And I'm giving myself grace for that because this is my first time doing anything like this. Yeah. I was actually just talking about this with Katrina Lenk the other day. She, you know, obviously has also been nominated, worked with the same team. She won, obviously, because she's remarkable. But this sort of like, no one tells you how hard that time is. Yeah. No one can prepare you for how challenging it is to have that pressure just to want to do your best for the show, to want to do your best for your team of the people on stage, the people off stage, and then also being like, you know, going out into the world and doing the interviews and the photo shoots and the video shoots and the podcasts and just sort of like, it is so all consuming and you're living at a 12 the entire time. Totally. And it's just really scary. It's really intense. And I'm giving myself grace. Oh, yeah. And allowing that to be my first time. Yeah, 100%. And hopefully it happens again in another situation. And now I have an understanding of what it means, what it is. And I'm going to be able to have a little more self-love throughout the process. But it was there was more than one night that ended like with me crying in my dressing room. 100%. You know? It's hard. It's really hard.
I mean, now having had experienced that, and it is always, of course, easier to give advice to others than to follow it yourself. Do you feel as though you could give someone a path to kind of prepare themselves for that?
Yes, and I plan to. If I have any friend who's nominated for a Tony Award, I'm going to say, hey, you probably only have 3 minutes to talk to me because this is the craziest time of your life.
Yeah.
But what I would say was, don't read anything anyone sends you.
Heard.
If someone sends you an article and it's from a magazine, it's probably because they say you're going to win.
Yeah.
Don't read it because it's going to give you a panic attack.
Heard.
Don't listen to anyone that tells you like, oh, you know, like it's you're a shoo-in or any like sort of strange, like that is usually them being kind and being supportive and loving you. But like, don't let it into your sphere because getting nominated is what matters.
Yeah.
It is like already the coolest thing that could possibly happen to you. Try to enjoy doing your show and forget that there are people out there because they want you to succeed.
Yeah.
No one is judging you. No one is hoping you fail. Everyone out there loves you. You are an important part of this production and your work has already been recognized and anything beyond that is bonus. And pack snacks on Tony Day because you are going to be so hungry.
What'd you bring?
Well, I had like a few Kind bars and then one of the publicists on my team gave me like a handful of candy. And that ended up saving my life. But there is a photo of me like on the red carpet with my mouth open and like Skittle red tongue.
Hell yeah.
So like be careful about that.
Yeah.
Be selective. But yeah, Kind bars. Like I had some nuts.
Understood.
Little dried fruit.
What is the timeline of that day and where are your snacking moments?
Well, the timeline of the day is insane because we had a call at the theater to get into costume and full hair and makeup for the dress rehearsal.
Yep.
You have to get ready at your theater. Go over there in a bus. We were called at 8 a.m., I think. And then you tech your number, dress rehearsal your number, and they record it in case anything goes wrong. So you have to like look like you will that night.
Okay.
And then you go back to the theater. And because, you know, I ended up having to get into hair and makeup as soon as I got back. So from 8 a.m. to I think the red carpet was at like 4. I was just like going. And then I was able to relax a little when the hair and makeup was getting done. But then the Tonys are long.
Yeah.
The first 2 hours, it's like 6 to 8. And it's aired online, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you're in there and it's like so many people and just like you're seeing everyone you've ever known and everybody's so excited and everybody looks so gorgeous and you're just like really, you know, I will say the other thing no one tells you is how nervous you'll be when they call your category.
Oh, of course.
I watched back the footage. I look like I'm going to throw up. I literally look like I'm going to puke. I look so nervous. And then I think like Kristen Chenoweth makes a joke and like my face softens and I'm like, oh, thank God. Truly, like I thought I was going to puke.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
I mean, of course it is. The stakes are high. This is the dream, you know?
It's not even like the stakes are high, like will I win or will I lose?
Of course.
For me, it was like, am I going to have to get up on a stage and talk in front of these people right now? Because that's way harder than anything I've done all day. But yeah, no. I mean, it was sort of like I knew I wasn't going to win. I was just so excited to be there and just sort of like experience it all from like my first Tony Awards from that seat in the audience and just like try to bathe in the majesty of it all. And it was really, it was so cool, but I was very nervous.
Naturally. Now I'm just kind of percolating. Did you ever kind of feel pressure to succeed because of the fact that your parents had kind of had the past that they did? Or did you ever put that pressure on yourself?
No, I don't think so. I weirdly, I have had this strange relationship with my career where every single time something really magical happens in it, I have this moment of, if this was the end, I'd be happy.
Heard.
If this were the last show I did, I would be really satisfied.
Yeah.
And I have been so lucky. And obviously, the last 5 months take that luck and just like magnify it by 100,000. But you know, I remember I did Gypsy with Beth Level and I got to play Louise on the Muni stage.
That's awesome.
And it was like I was a little girl who like wrapped herself in curtains and did the strip as like a 5-year-old. And, you know, like it was one of those roles that I just always desperately wanted. And I got to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, well, it doesn't get any better than this. And I've been so fortunate that things do keep surpassing.
Yeah.
And I know that I will come to, and I might already be at that point in my career where it is going to be sort of like nothing gets better than Dead Outlaw.
Okay.
You know, like that could happen.
Yeah.
And it's like I had this incredible show and this incredible opportunity and this validation from the business that I love so much and desperately want to be a part of. And, I don't know. I think it's something that you have to enjoy every magical opportunity because you never know if there will be another.
Totally.
And it sort of makes you live in the moment and appreciate it.
Yeah. What has kind of been the tracking of the dream for you? How did it start? Do you feel like you've reached those things, and has it warped over time and changed? And what does it look like now?
Great question. I mean, like I said, I was always an ensemble girly. I knew I could be a great ensemble member and understudy the lead. And I had done that. And I, both of my Broadway credits were that until Dead Outlaw. And I really, I thank pretty deeply Stephen Copel and Mark Bruni and Jason Howland and everybody at the team at Beautiful for pushing me out of my comfort zone and demanding that I be a leading lady and saying, you're going to do this because you're going to be great at it. And that was when my dream trajectory shifted greatly because I just wanted to be a working actress on Broadway. I just wanted to do a bunch of shows and be in the ensemble and get to do that. And then they said, no, you're going to do this kind of work.
Yeah.
And they believed in me before I believed in me.
Okay.
And I have been very lucky to get to continue down the path that they sort of shifted me onto, which is involved, a lot more plays and a lot more challenging pieces and a lot more diversity in the style of project that I get to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, Dead Outlaw was the pinnacle of my dreams. I got to originate a role with a team that I am intimidated by and in absolute awe of. I got to work with the greatest team of people on stage and off that I literally will cry if I talk about these boys too much. Like, they are my soul. They are my family. We were all just together last night. I'm seeing them again tomorrow. Like, it is like a group like this doesn't come around every day.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to participate in something that I have watched my entire life from my living room. Oh, it's going to make me cry. And I got to sit there.
Yeah.
I got to sit there as a nominee. I got to sit there next to my mom. I got to be welcomed and seen by a community of people that I admire so greatly. And it was the honor of a lifetime. And if I never work again, I will be happy.
Hell yeah.
It's true.
If you do work again, what would you like to do?
I want to do a play next.
Okay.
I've done plays regionally. I've done plays off Broadway, but my next goal is a Broadway play.
Heard.
Yeah.
Great. It's manifesting.
I'm manifesting.
Get those cards out.
Really hard, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God. Well, congratulations on all of your success. It is much deserved, of course, because you've put in the work and, you've faced the adversity of a lot of circumstances and people, and, that's not always easy to prevail over, Sometimes it can really make you get in your head and, you gotta be able to shake yourself out,
It's true.
If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anyone else?
Can I get an amen up in here?
Amen.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's always a battle. And unfortunately, I think I started this journey being like, I'm healed. I figured it out. I know how to love myself and I will never falter again. And then that's not how it goes. You don't just fix yourself, even over 3 months, not even overnight. I've spent 3 months and I was like, oh, I understand now. I'm healed. And we're always growing and evolving and changing.
Totally.
And you just have to go along for the ride and try to enjoy it as much as possible.
That is exactly right. Enjoy that ride, folks. Julia, do you have any other words of wisdom you'd like to share with the people, or any advice for the young Julias out there?
Oh, young Julias, specifically, it's not a belting contest.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
That's my number one piece of advice. If you feel like you're not as good of a singer as other people, those of us out there, if you're listening and you have a voice that is really unique or a voice that has a tone that isn't like anyone else's, don't change it.
No.
Don't say, okay, I'll learn how to mix a high G. I will because it's the only way to work. It's not true.
No.
Yeah, there have been auditions that I've had to turn down because I'm like, oh, actually, I'm not going to sing. I can't sing alphabet. That's not how my voice works. And I'm, all of the women who can.
Yeah.
But I'm just not one of them. And there have been moments where that little voice of imposter syndrome has said well, then you're not good enough. And it's no, like I said earlier, my piece of advice about like only you can offer what is uniquely you.
Yeah.
Like same goes for your voice. Don't
Totally.
get consumed by the American Idol style. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, these people are incredible, but also like if you can bring honesty and truth and groundedness into
100%.
the roles and the music and the scenes that you get to do, trust that your instrument is enough.
100%. And we all identify as actors. That is what we call ourselves. So act,
baby.
Act. You know, that's what's going to do it in the end.
Breathe and act and try to surprise yourself.
There we go. I love that.
Mm.
Folks, get out there, start doing the thing. We are rooting for you.
Oh, yeah, we are.
We are your biggest supporters, and you can be our biggest supporters by finding us on Patreon.
That's a good transition.
Thank you. That is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. Your general disclaimer, we are not gatekeeping any vital information on there. That is just for fun, silly bonus content, silly stories from all of the fools that I get to join me on this show. As always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA to Broadway. Julia, where can folks find you if you would like to be found?
I just on Instagram, Julia Knitel.
Love it.
Yeah.
This has been absolutely delightful.
Yeah,
you are
truly.
welcome back here literally anytime.
Thank you.
And until that next time, folks, bye.
Bye.
From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.